Ready, set, shut up on set. Today I'll explain how and why you're a slave, and how and why the people enslaving you don't care whether it destroys America or whichever country they're operating in. But it will take us 3 whole minutes to do it, so stop fiddling with your junk just for a minute and we'll get going. No, seriously, stop fiddling with it. I'll wait all... Okay. Point 1. The U.S., along with some of our friends, uses debt to enslave developing countries. The whole slave ship thing a while back didn't look good from a PR standpoint, and the cost of whips and chains was pretty terrible. So nowadays, we use debt. We go in and we say, "Hello, good friend! Wouldn't you like a modern country with clean water and roads and high-speed internet? We'll build all that stuff for you. You'll just owe us half your country's income from now until eternity, thereby keeping you poor and subservient." Either the leader says yes, or we bribe him, or we kill him. Read John Perkins' Confessions of an Economic Hitman if you want all the gory, pus-covered details. Point 2. The morally empty power elite in this country saw the success of this process and have now done the same to the American people. Tuition has gone up 600% since 1980. So it's basically, "Hello, good friend. Wouldn't you like to have a shiny diploma you can stick on the wall? You'll just owe us half your income for the next 30 years, thereby tying you mercilessly to a career you'll find out you hate. And then you'll spend the rest of your young productive years thinking of ways to teabag your boss's morning glass of orange juice." Point 3. This debt enslavement guarantees people won't stand up or fight back or protest or call bullshit because their debt is weighing down on them worse than giving Kim.com a piggyback ride when he's 9 months pregnant. All's changed, she's having a baby. Point 4. Public schools and many colleges are currently being gutted by budget cuts, thereby creating an even dumber population. And you thought the country that brought you truck nuts couldn't get any dumber, but you were wrong.
As you can see in the side-by-side comparison, these things are huge.
Why would the top leaders and owners of this country want a truly dumb as Snooki citizenry?
Oh my God.
The rich and powerful, Wall Street and the government, don't view other countries as their competition anymore. They view other corporations as their competition. And they don't give a flying fuck about America, the country. And BP, for instance, doesn't give a flying fuck about Great Britain. BP cares about BP. Goldman Sachs cares about Goldman Sachs. So the people running the show don't give a flying shit whether the average people are less bright than Paula Abdul, high on her own hairspray fumes. Dumb and indebted is the goal. If you're not one of those two things, you have no excuse. Please grab an oar and start paddling because we need your help to lead the way out of this swirling toilet drain. And if you are either dumb or indebted, then you should be more pissed off than anyone. Okay, you can go back to your junk now.
Using a flippity-flop type plastic.
Here, we have a businessman.
I love to have meetings.
An office drone.
Uh-huh.
An average Joe.
I love beer.
A hick.
Well, I never touched them chickens.
And a douche.
Ugh, my muscles.
Each one dumber than the last, all part of the process of de-evolution, shown in the movie Idiocracy, a comedy film that is now considered a documentary. There was a time when this guy was viewed as ideal.
I'd like to buy 1 million stocks, please.
But now, we're more in favor of big dumb animals like this guy.
Hey, you don't gotta wear a condom if you do her in the butt. Nah, I mean?
What Idiocracy failed to mention is that the power elite in this country and other countries want you to be dumb. You see, morons are more likely to buy useless plastic shit and support brands that are even more useless.
Under Armour protects me from being gay.
And perhaps most importantly, they don't stand up against the status quo. In fact, they even mock those who do.
Hey, get a job, queer. Fucking idiot. Why you protest in a street?
This is America's Most Asshole. Sally Mae might sound like a bumpkin in Daisy Dukes and pigtails, selling you pot pies behind back of Bill's Barbecue underneath the neon sign of a happy pig eating a big old plate of pork barbecue, meaning it's a neon rendition of cannibalism. But that's beside the point. Sallie Mae is actually not a person at all. She's a publicly traded corporation and the nation's largest private student loan provider. You may know Sallie Mae from the old days. She was once a government-sponsored enterprise which oversaw federally subsidized and protected student loans. But she's been going through some serious shit, man. She's changed. Back in 2004, Sallie went fully private, and every single year since being privatized, Sallie Mae has been sued by class action. She's been accused of screwing over blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, I think pygmies at some point, even a guy with lupus. Nowadays, she doesn't just market loans. She's both a provider and a collector, kind of like being a heroin dealer and owning a rehab, or selling McDonald's fries and selling special loofahs to scrub under skin flaps. Her latest bullshit? She just got an $8.5 billion credit line from the federal government through a program set up to help the housing crisis. She gets taxpayer money at 0.25% interest and then loans it back to students at 40 times that rate. Then she gets taxpayer money and fees when she tries to collect the money back from the taxpayers, who she also collects fees from and then also interest. Sallie Mae is like an M.C. Escher painting of shitty. And don't even think about breaking up with her. She spent millions lobbying Congress for laws that make student loans exempt from bankruptcy protection. What's that? This evil, racist, lower-than-groin rash predator doesn't sound like the sweet Sallie Mae that you remember from your college days? Well, don't take my word for it. Over half the student loan complaints filed with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau are all about one company. Sally's her name, Sallie Mae. She's fast, easy, and will fuck you every which way. She sounds pretty awful. An increasing number of young Americans find themselves tied into a career path they don't enjoy and sometimes despise because their tuition is higher than Snoop Dogg in a hot air balloon.
Snoop Lion.
What?
Snoop Lion now. Changed.
He changed his name to Snoop Lion?
Yeah, it's cooler.
Stupid. Whereas student loan debt was a mere $250 billion in 2003, it's now nearly $1 trillion. Young people are tied down. They're money's slave, dollars bitch, interest servant, debt's hoe. Now they're locked down, spending all day, every day, trying to pay off their deal with the devil. They didn't realize it back when they were 17, but they were locking themselves into a lifetime of prostitution. Prostitution, today's word, and also the #1 profession of young people in the United States. I'm here with my friend Henry, who is also my midwife. Henry, you're going to read some hate mail here that I've received.
Oh, wow. Another fucking know-it-all, hard-rocking, heavy metal comedian, huh? I watched and listened carefully for something really intelligent, or at least new, and nothing. Were you at Occupy Oakland, Liverpool, slaves? Hell, all this time I thought all you shaggy-headed, greasy little shits were happy with the cult of celebrity and all the doodads that everyone has to have because they have one. Semper Fi, Liverpool.
Okay. Henry, can you make anything of this?
Can't make anything of it at all.
I'm thinking maybe he like chugged some Benadryl, maybe a little Oxycontin, and English is like his 7th language. And then he just angrily wrote words in crayon on the iPad screen. Am I greasy?
No, you're not.
Oh, that was really sweet. Thank you. So today we're here with Raoul Martinez, who has a great new documentary out called Lottery of Birth. Well, thanks for being here, first of all.
Well, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me. You know, education can kind of function in 2 ways. It can equip us with the tools to kind of change our world and play a part in creating history. Or it can prepare us to fit into the slots available in the society we have.
You interview a lot of amazing people in your film, from Howard Zinn to that other guy. They went to school, so can they be trusted?
It's a good point. You know, I think the people who survive it and can actually use it for their own purposes rather than being used by, you know, the agendas of the institution, are those who have had an environment that has allowed them to question and develop a strong identity. In the UK and over the last few years, the cost of university has tripled. When my parents went to uni, they didn't pay a thing. It's completely free.
Right.
Getting people in debt, you know, it's just today's version of indentured labour.
But I know the humanities have basically been cut in half in US universities, whereas the number of business colleges shot through the roof.
Because with that kind of debt, it's hard to say, well, I'm going to go and do English literature or study, you know, French poetry. You know, we need the humanities. The humanities are about understanding ourselves, training us to think and to question. When you look around at the kind of films which succeed and just the general level of culture, it's pretty depressing. We don't need more business. We need less productivity and less business on this planet. Because we're running out of resources and we're destroying the environment, more business is just going to accelerate us towards the edge of the cliff. We really need, I believe, a Green New Deal to get rid of the notion of growth. And you're leaving behind capitalism then, because growth is really central to the whole notion of capitalism. Kind of cultural growth, spiritual growth, those things are great.
But those are meaningless at the end of the day, right? Let's be honest, just between you and me.
Is the camera going? Can I answer straight? Growth is the ideology of the cancer cell. We're a form of cancer at the moment, and the economic system is driving that. That logic.
But at the end of the day, doesn't cancer win?
It looks like it's going to. You know, that's a pessimistic reality. But we still have time.